bringing Korea one slice closer to the world with extraordinary and fun toppings. Welcome to the Korean Pizza Club podcast, KPC. I'm your host, David Kim, and we have some cafe experts in the room today. Please introduce yourselves, starting with, who should we start with? We started with Shannon last time, so let's go with Yuki.
Hello, everybody. I'm glad to be back. I'm Yuki. I'm from India. Nice to see you guys, and I hope you'll enjoy the video today.
Yeah, and we have...
Hello,
Yiz.
I'm Yiz. I'm a content creator in Seoul, and I'm very ready to talk about today's topic.
Yes, and she specifically has a lot of reels and shorts about
Food. Love food.
cafes, restaurants. So go check her social media account. Yeah, and
hey guys, welcome back. I'm Shannon. You've probably seen me on here before.
Yep. It's your third episode, I think.
Third
right?
episode, yeah.
Right.
And I live in Seoul. I've been here for about 3 years now, and I have quite an extensive map dedicated to all of the cafes.
Yesterday, I was DMing her. I was looking for some guests on this episode. And I was like, are you actually in the cafe game here? And then she shared me like a map, a neighbor map with like full of stars of all the cafes like listed in Gangbuk, Gangnam, everywhere. I was like,
yeah.
Okay, you're qualified.
There's some all the way down to Busan too, but that's just the ones that I've been to in Seoul that I found significant. So,
Right.
Yeah.
So we have all the cafe people here. So yeah, as you might know, like when people come to Korea, especially foreigners, they expect a huge cafe hopping culture here, cafe game here, and
they'll get it.
Yeah, they'll get it. It's very true. So I have some statistics to start the podcast. So as for 2022, the number of cafes in South Korea exceeds 90,000. That's crazy, right?
That's insane.
If you think of the landmass and the per capita, like 90,000 cafes, that's crazy. And it's almost doubling the amount of convenience stores. So there are more cafes than convenience stores out there. So.
Which is absurd because when you come here, that's going to be one of the first things you notice. There's a Pyeongtaek like every 25 feet.
Yeah,
100%.
it's crazy. And then we go on. Seoul has more cafes per capita than any other country in the world. That's a fact. And in 2019, Hyundai Research Lab found out that the individual's average yearly consumption of coffee is, try to guess, how many? Yearly consumption of coffee.
Like
how many cups? Yeah.
Oh, in cups?
Try to
Yearly?
guess. Yeah, yearly.
Per capita? 200?
200.
250.
Okay. Is 250?
323 to be exact.
That's very specific. Okay.
I'm going to go way higher than that. I'm going to say like 1,000.
1,000? Okay, you're seeing us caffeine addicts.
Well, because it's 365 days a year. A lot of people get 2 or 3 a day.
Right. That's actually true.
So I think it's going to be quite high.
Plus, like, they get it in winter as well.
Yeah, iced coffee.
Iced coffee in winter. But the answer is 353 cups.
I was way over.
Yeah, so I think Iz was the closest, right?
A little less than one
Only
a day.
short by like 30, yeah? So people take like a month of break for coffee. Yeah. So that's crazy. Like everybody on average consumes at least 1 cup of coffee per day.
Wow.
And I'm that unicorn that doesn't.
You don't drink coffee?
I don't drink coffee at all.
I don't drink coffee either.
Oh.
Yeah, I got
five.
you.
Any particular reason?
The coffee caffeine just doesn't work in my body. Yeah.
I drink coffee, but I only drink it when I go to cafes because you're kind of expected to order a drink.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's like an entrance fee.
Yeah,
Admission.
Nope. I wake up first thing in the morning and I'm friends with the ajumma, at the little cafe across the street from my house. I wake up, I walk down, I point at her, she knows which one I get, she gives it to me, and then I go back upstairs.
Lovely.
So, in general, what do you think about the cafe culture in Korea? When you first came, what was your impression of this whole, culture?
I didn't know about it until I came here. The thing is, I also did not drink as much coffee, or even for that matter, like tea, when I was before I was in Korea.
Yep.
But after coming here, I realized how significant it is, especially for like the population here, because every neighborhood you go in, there's at least like 3 or 4 Starbucks.
Yeah.
Or there's like
we all
3 or
have
4 chain coffees.
Yep.
There's even like cafes that are like visually and aesthetically pleasing, and they're all like doing well.
Yeah.
Financially, they're doing well, and there's a lot of people in each one of them. So the coffee culture here is like really strong.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think in the States, if there's a couple good cafes, if they're too close to one another, one of them's going to go out of business.
Oh,
Yeah, like
really?
it's very competitive in that regard. But here, like she said, there's so many everywhere all the time that
block
they're all
after
doing
block.
okay.
Yeah, it's full. People just like drinking, studying, doing whatever they want. Yeah, talking. So cafe culture is huge here. What was your impression, Yiz?
I mean, my question is, are they really financially stable? Like, do they all last that long if there's so many?
Like, if you see the ones that have been surviving for so long, that means they are in business and
Okay.
they
I
are
mean,
thriving.
I see so many Idia, Mega Coffee.
Yeah. Hollies.
Yeah,
whatever.
there's so many.
In my opinion, when I first came here, I didn't know very much about Korea at all.
Yeah.
So I should preface by saying that. Like, I'd never watched K-dramas or anything. So I was honestly completely overwhelmed by all the cafes. And when I learned how to use that star feature on my map, I went
crazy.
ham. I literally spent hours because I had to do the quarantine for my first 2 weeks here.
Right.
So I started to learn. I learned a lot about like what I was going to expect when I finally was able to come out of my little cave.
Right.
But there were so many places that I immediately went to, and I was just like, wow, this is such an interesting like new way to go about like spending my time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because in the States, I never did that. We don't really have like the aesthetically pleasing cafe or the cafe that's special for French toast or the cafe that's special for the music. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's very individualized here, and like whatever vibe or mood you're in, you can always find a cafe for that.
Right.
So I really became like a really fun hobby of mine to be able to explore that kind of thing.
Literally cafe hopping.
Yeah, literally cafe hopping. So for me, it was overwhelming in the most positive way. It was really cool.
And I'm assuming those stars aren't starred at like a Starbucks.
Oh,
no pun intended.
no, yeah. Even though we all have Starbucks right now.
Yeah, that's ironic.
The only reason I go to Starbucks is only for the cold brew.
Cold brew.
And I will say that because it's the strongest cold brew that I can find, unless there's like a cafe that I've found that has one. But most of them don't have cold brews as available. So that's what I got right now.
Okay. And like as foreigners here, like you might have observed Korean people liking coffee and cafe culture. What do you think the reasoning is for like so many cafes, so many different cafes and all that kind of stuff?
I have a historical answer.
Oh, go for it.
Does that
Okay.
work?
Yeah, do
So,
it.
I think that the whole like cafe thing, it became trendy in like the 1900s, but basically what happened in the 1800s was that they had local coffee shops, but then Starbucks was brought into Korea.
Right.
And after Starbucks was brought into Korea, the interior of Starbucks in Korea has like it looks like a luxury hotel.
Yeah.
If you notice, a lot of them look like a luxurious place. And the thing is that because the economy would like sometimes go down and it was like in its pace of like, you know, getting financially stable, people could not really go to these expensive hotels. So they went to Starbucks to actually experience that kind of a luxury. Instead, they just had to pay for coffee and they could just sit there for hours. And also Starbucks, Korea was one of the first countries where they put the name in Hangukgo, so in like the language.
Oh yeah.
They put it. Yeah. So before they never did that, but they saw it as like a potential market, so they did that, and it actually worked out very well for them, because that's why if you see, Korea has a lot of Starbucks, and that eventually evolved into like a big cafe and coffee consumption culture. And as the trend increases by day, I think that because, you know, nowadays like trendy spots have become like the it places. Because of that, like even the aesthetically pleasing or like the visually pleasing places have become more valuable to the population.
Right.
So because of that, the coffee consumption culture has even increased, because not only is there like the consumption aspect of coffee, but also the trendy aspect, which goes in sync with social media.
I was gonna say social media too. I think there's a couple of different things. Definitely the historical aspect.
Wow, but
plays.
before we go on to that, where did you get all this information?
The thing is that I'm majoring in international relations, so I did a class. It's called History of Globalization. So we were also studying globalization of Korea and how it got brought to the world. So that's where I learned about like the Starbucks thing too.
Right. And my mom was always proud. Like she's always proud of herself being an Ewha University graduate. Another proud thing she always boasts about is like, we had the first Starbucks in Korea in front of our campus. And I'm like, is that,
That's so cute.
Yeah, I know, right? But it kind of goes in line with what you're saying, like your historical explanation. So I love that. Thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Definitely
and
did
then
that.
Shannon, you were saying? Yeah.
I was gonna say Korea appears to me as like a culture of like extremes in a lot of ways. Extreme work culture, extreme party culture, as we've covered before. But also like they're very extreme as far as aesthetic.
Yeah.
And extreme, like if they're working really hard, they might need like a boost, like coffee and stuff. But in doing that, they didn't want to just have coffee. They wanted to have an extreme experience with coffee. So they decided to make like Hello Kitty ones and forest ones and like just anything for everybody.
Right.
And then the more niche or more like interesting that particular cafe is, the more attention it's going to draw for the social media aspect, because it's unique. So it's not just like the Starbucks experience.
Yeah.
It's like anything for anyone.
So to wrap it up, it's basically like historically there was Starbucks. People liked the luxury feel of it, so they tried to like feel more of that. Then there was a harsh work culture, so they needed their caffeine. And then social media, and well, people are so like appearance centric here and stuff like that,
definitely.
aesthetic. So that all intertwined and then made this huge
Cafe culture, yeah.
culture. Okay, what is your take on like why it's so big here?
I think compared to Western countries, in Western countries, I feel like it's normal to like go to your friend's house or whatever to hang out versus like in Korea, I've heard if you're meeting a friend, you're always meeting them outside. So I feel like that also contributed to having cafe culture grow so big, is that every time you meet a friend, you're going to likely meet them at a restaurant or a cafe. So
That's
I
true.
think that definitely.
Yeah, I think it's like an escape place for young people to just go chat freely and just hang out. Free air conditioning too. So, yeah, it's so hot over here. So yeah, for you guys, like how often do you guys go to cafes and how much time do you spend there? Yeah.
Oh, I go all the time.
All the time, every single day.
It depends on my work. My schedule changes incredibly frequently, and with that, sometimes I'll have like a random 2-hour period in between jobs, and because it's such an odd amount of time, it's not enough time for me to go home.
Yeah.
But it's not enough time for me to just stay where I'm at. Like I need to go somewhere, so I often go to cafes. So that's why I have cafes start all over Seoul, because like I'll just go to whichever one is closest, grab a coffee, hang out, bounce to the next job.
Very practical usage.
Yeah, right. Practical for sure. But I definitely have a couple comfort spots that I visit frequently. If I find one that I feel like really comfortable at, like I'll end up like, drawing or writing in my journal or just hanging out there, and then I'll find something on the menu that I like. So if it's been a long day, I'll end up at a cafe before I go home or like something like that. So I
feel
go pretty
like,
frequently.
Yeah, everybody here would have their own archive and list of their best favorite cafes.
Definitely.
So let's save that for the last. Yeah, you got to watch till the last until you get that golden list for you. So stay tuned.
I probably go at least once a week. I don't go too often, number one, because I don't depend on coffee, but also it adds up fast.
Oh, girl,
it adds
so much money.
Especially like, for example, if you go to order souffle pancakes, that's an easy like 15,000, 20,000 won fee that if you're not going with friends, it's like, can I justify that? I mean, I usually go to restaurants, so I can kind of justify that because I'm like, okay, I need to eat actual food. But like cafes, I'm sometimes like, oh, it's too much for me to justify.
Yeah, it's sometimes very overpriced,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
like a cup of
definitely.
coffee is like, for average, like 7,000, 8,000 won,
I
right?
can get
What
What
cafes are you
cafes
going
are you
to?
going
I mean, like the aesthetic ones you go
No,
to.
like a normal Americano would be probably like 4 or
Okay,
5.
if you're going
maximum
Americano,
6.
Americano standard, it's a little cheaper, but like
I feel like they're expensive though. Like
Yeah,
there's
they
somewhere
are.
it's like 5,000, 6,000. Like, should I even eat here?
I mean, Yonsei's
I feel like that's
cafes
probably
be selling it for 1,200 won.
I mean, that's a student area, so
It's true.
Yeah, like if you go to like the little ones, it's like it can be as cheap as like 1.5.
yeah, for
But if you-
Americanos.
yeah, for Americanos. But if you go to like one of my comfort spots that I'll tell you later when you watch the whole episode, it's in Shinsa, and it's like 6,000.
Yeah.
So
I've seen a lot like
it's
that.
a little bit more, but I go there for the purpose of like it being where it is. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Right,
Like,
right, right.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it just depends, but you can find cheaper coffee for sure.
Well, if I get like I don't even know how to pronounce it, a Java Frappuccino, whatever,
That's my
chocolate
favorite drink.
cookie, like slush, whatever. That's like
Ice cream.
good 7,000, 8,000 won.
Yeah.
So it adds up definitely. Yeah. And Yuki, how is your like consumer
So the
behavior?
thing is, I rationalize going to the cafe. I actually go to the cafes more often in the summer because I rationalize going there and being there for a few more hours
Yeah.
With my electricity bill,
Yes.
as in the air conditioning.
A lot of people do that. Yeah.
Like
Brilliant.
so I just go like to cute cafes in the neighborhood or like anywhere I would like to try out for that matter. Because by like just like Shannon said, like by each neighborhood, I have like places marked on my Instagram. Like I've saved them in the folders. I have them on Kakao Maps and everything. So I just rationalize the 6,000 won, 7,000 won expenditure in terms of saving like hundreds of thousands won on my air conditioning and my electricity bill.
That's true.
So I go often, like I go pretty often. And also there are days where I can't just stay at home and work. Like I really need to
Yeah.
just go out and, you know, maybe like edit a YouTube video or
Right.
maybe, you know, work on my class or even for the matter, design for my fashion design course. But like going to the cafe really helps. So I'd say I go pretty often.
Yeah, that's another good point. It's like if I have work to do, I find it difficult to work in the comfort of my home because I get too comfortable and I'll get lazy.
Yeah.
But if I go and like put myself in a cafe space, like especially in Korea, everybody's studying or working on
Yeah.
something usually.
Yeah.
So it definitely helps with my motivation.
Because
and
the
work ethic.
bed's right there, right? Like the
Yeah, you
bed's
just
right
go
there
out.
in your room. Like
Yeah.
it's just there looking at you all tempting. So you have to go out.
It's just
That's-
all tempting.
That's true. Yes.
It's true.
Yeah. Speaking of electricity bills, I mean, a lot of people go, as you guys said, to study in cafes. For a lot of cases, they bring their notebooks and they plug in the cord and they have like electric cords all over there. And a lot of cafe owners are like complaining about this. Maybe they're like thinking of getting rid of it. And then there's going to be whole protests and riot
Oh my
over
God.
that.
Seoul
So-
would erupt.
Yeah, I
if that
know.
was the case.
I heard that they were planning to come out with like a law which only allows like people to be in there for 2 hours. I was reading it in a news.
Honestly, if I was a business owner, I would be like, yeah, that needs to be legislated, you know?
How long do you guys usually stay at a cafe? Because
Oh.
I know sometimes it says like, oh no.
Sometimes,
it says
yeah.
like 2 hours. But I feel like even if it doesn't say 2 hours, I feel like after 2 hours, I gotta leave. Like,
Yeah,
they
I
want
mean,
me out.
if I'm just going to hang out with my friends, it'll be like a 2 and 3 hour, you know,
Yeah,
talk.
that's like a comfortable amount of time.
Yeah, but if I'm there for like intensive work, I need to get this thing done. I'd stay for like more than 4 or 5
Yeah,
hours.
same. I think it would depend though. If I knew I had a time limit, I might be stressed out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
But
Yeah.
but if I don't have a time limit, I'm like, 2 hours is good. But
Right.
yeah, like I said, when I get comfortable, I often take my sketchbook, and some of those sketches take me forever.
Ever. Yeah.
So if someone kicked me out, I'd be like, no,
No.
Yeah.
I'll buy another coffee.
But that's a funny thing though. Like my favorite cafe that I'm contemplating whether I should gatekeep it or tell the viewers.
Not yet.
But
Yeah.
anyways, my favorite cafe, they got really popular, especially during like Christmas, because they fit the Christmassy aesthetic. They put on like a waiting, like, oh, you can only be in here for 2 hours. And I go there to study and I'm just like, what do you mean? I come here
Yeah.
every day. And they're like, we're sorry. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh.
They want that rotation happening and people coming from the Instagram and stuff. So
I think there's definitely benefits to both, because if you don't have a time limit, you could create those regular customers like her and I. But you know, if you're trying to get more
customers.
feet in the door, then you gotta push people out at some point.
I totally understand the business side, because like when I go to some cafes, like especially the franchise ones, the big ones, like they
don't care.
Sometimes it has like two or three floors, and it's like if you go to the second, third floor, it's silent. It's dead silent, and everybody's just working on their
Working and
laptop.
studying, yeah.
Yeah, like, and if I just go with a friend to just chat, I can't because
It's
of the
uncomfortable.
pressure. Everybody's just like looking at you, staring at you. If you
Like, shh.
yeah, sometimes they even
It's
do
a
that. Like, sometimes-
library.
yeah, it's a library, and I've heard a lot from the news that business owners are like they can't, say not to do that, but apparently a lot like they're getting really stressed out because like they aren't moving. They're just coming in with their laptops and staying forever, not letting people talk. So these people are getting driven out of the cafes. So it's really bad for their business. But
Well, perhaps they could designate a floor specifically for that. And
Yeah.
then if you're not on that floor, then you got to leave after a certain point.
right.
But that way, like, you get both sides of the clientele.
right.
Another alternative is like nowadays they have study cafes. So you basically just pay like you're paying a PC bang, but for like 1,001, 2,001, you sit there and study for like 4 hours, 5 hours.
Yeah. That'd be
So
better.
that is an option too. And from what I've heard is I don't know, the ones near my house, like you just pay a certain price and you have free unlimited coffee or tea
Wow.
for the night because it's a study cafe.
Okay. Yeah, study cafes might be a solution. So please don't clog up the decent ones near my house. Study people. We call them 가공족 in Korean. It's like cafe 공부 people. So like people who study in cafes. It's becoming a social problem, honestly, to some extent. Yeah. So let's go on into some like unique traits of Korean cafe culture. So a lot of people that come to Korea are awed with the variety of themes in cafes. So what are some of the most crazy ones you've been to, or like in general, what were you surprised about?
I've heard about there's a cafe in Hongdae that is just focuses on mint chocolate.
Mint chocolate.
I haven't been.
I hate it.
She's not mint chocolate.
Me
yeah.
neither.
I mean, I like it, but like the photos, if you look at the photos of the food that they're serving in the cafe, the food dye is so extreme that I'm like, I don't think I can eat this. I've seen that. There's also like the animal cafes, painting cafes. Though I start to question what makes a cafe because I feel like sometimes they just like slap the word a cafe on, and I'm like,
it's just a
is it really?
space,
Yeah,
with
like-
coffee, and then you put something in there.
Especially with the
why
animal cafes. It's like, here's a bottle of water, and I'm like, okay. I'm here for the animals. It's fine, I get it. But I feel even there's like gaming cafes. But like you get fried chicken there, that I'm like, what is
it
the
a
meaning?
cafe?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it depends though, because like cafe doesn't always just mean coffee. Like cafe is
That's
like
true.
where you can go get like a sandwich or something. You can also get chicken, you know? So it kind of like, I don't know, it's a loose term, but what else would you call those places? You know what I mean? Like it's like an
true.
umbrella term at this point.
Right. Yeah.
The craziest one I know, to me, this is wild, but they have a toilet themed cafe in
Yes.
Chadong.
Toilet.
Yeah, in
like,
Samjigil.
the drink comes in like a toilet bowl, and even the cake is like a toilet shaped or like poop shaped, and that is wild
So
to me.
weird.
It is wild.
Yeah.
They have like a little poop shake hotok there,
Yeah.
and it's so good.
Oh,
Oh
that's
my
good.
God. How do you think of these
It
ideas?
doesn't affect the flavor; it's just the shape.
Yeah.
It is quite popular though. There's always people in it.
I'm
Every time
sure
I
there
pass
is.
that place.
I would
One
judge
of the
those
most
people.
there's a pretty unique one, but I do think it's pretty well known. Is like the 2D cafe, where it's all black and white and it looks like you're in a giant sketch.
Right.
There's one in Hongdae as well called Style Nanda, and they have like a big pink pool that you
Yes.
can
I've
seen that
like. It's like a what did we call it when I was growing up? It's like
I know what you mean.
it's a pool, but it's filled with like these little plastic balls.
Oh, like at McDonald's.
Yeah, but I don't know what you call it. Like, so there's a word
I
for
know
it.
the term. I know.
Is it ball
Why
pit?
can't I remember?
Ball pit.
Ball pit.
Ball
Thank
pit.
you. Yes, it's like a ball pit. Wow, that's not even like a hard word. But yeah, there's that one, and then there's just all kinds of stuff. I've seen Hello Kitty cafes. There's one at the start of my map. I haven't been there, but I'm gonna do it. It's it's this cafe, but it's a cave. In the middle of Seoul.
What?
Yes.
It's a giant cave, like a real one made out of stone, rock.
Okay.
And it's really, really small inside, but like it's just, I can't explain it any other way. It's like dark, dim, but there's such like a little vibe to it. Yeah. But like that's what we mean when we say that there's a crazy amount of variety. You can go pet sheep at one, but you can also go underground at another. Like,
Right. I recently saw like a cafe that went viral that rains every day. Like,
Yeah,
Rain
rain
report.
report.
it's a
That one,
rain
yeah.
cafe. And
That's
then,
in Seongsu.
yeah,
So
I
funny.
don't even know where this is going to.
A friend of mine, she actually knows the owner,
Yeah.
and nor does he own like a rain report. Like nor does he own the rain cafe. He owns a very nice vegan cafe as well
Okay.
in the neighborhood.
Which
And, oh, I think the name is Savage Garden
Yeah.
and Lazy Farmers, and it's the same. Like they have the same owner and the same architect. So if you actually go inside both of them, it's like very nature like and very green, and it's very interesting to see that
Yeah.
in like a metropolitan city.
Right. So many crazy ideas here and there. So, I mean, if you come to Korea, you'll have to curate your list of cafes you want to go to, like
Definitely.
by theme. One unpopular or controversial opinion I would want to give is like I've been to one of those animal cafes. I didn't really like it, you know, like it kind of.
Which one did you go to?
There's like one with like a bunch of meerkats and like
Raccoons?
raccoons.
Was
Yeah,
it
probably in Hongdae or something.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And it's not like a pleasant experience, honestly.
It's like a small petting zoo. It's not really like a place you want to go have
Yeah.
a beverage because everything kind of smells like
that
it.
too, and you feel bad for the animals,
Yeah.
honestly. So I am like, these cafes shouldn't exist. You
Yeah.
know, honestly, like there are sheep cafes, there are dog cafes,
Samoyed
cat
cafes.
Samoyed cafes,
Yeah.
lizard cafes, parrot cafes, everything. So yeah, I feel bad for those animals.
I
I've
agree.
only-
Yeah, I feel bad for them too.
I've only gone to the dog ones, and I feel like at least with the dog ones that I've been to, it's more like doggy daycare. So
Yeah.
I don't,
Oh, yeah.
I don't feel bad, but I haven't gone to the cat ones or the other animal ones just because I don't know. I just
Yeah,
It just doesn't
make
seem
me feel
right.
good.
I can
Yeah.
agree. I think with the dog ones, I get it because there's not a lot of places to let your dogs run free and play with other dogs. So for those of you that don't know, the dog cafes are pretty popular here in Seoul for dog owners because it's one of those few spots where they can actually just like bring their dog, let them off a
And
leash, they can play with
yeah.
other dogs and stuff. But it's also a cafe, like in
Yeah.
typical
Right.
Korean fashion, they're gonna sell coffee.
Right.
But I think the exotic animal cafes I could go without.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will
Me
say
too.
though, if you have never been to the one in Jamshil Tower, the aquarium one,
Oh,
that place
That's
is
beautiful.
I haven't
so cool.
really? I should
It's
go
so
there.
cool. And it's way bigger than it looks like it is from the outside. And in the back, they actually have like a small like aquarium pet shop. So you can like buy fish and like a tank and stuff.
What?
No, it's
unique.
it's really cool.
It's a nice place.
But
I
they all
recommend it.
it's a little bit expensive, but the desserts and stuff are actually quite good.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so really cool. Like one of definitely the most unique. Like the whole thing is an aquarium. Like they're up to the ceilings. It's really awesome. So.
Okay, yeah, definitely have to visit
Recommend
there.
that.
Yeah. And onto like we've talked about weird, bizarre themes, but like in general, designs and aesthetics. You know, like Seoul is very well known. Korea is well known for like it's very beautiful and aesthetic cafes. So what kind of trendy theme? What kind of trendy? What do you call it? Like aesthetics have you seen in these cafes? Like we could maybe go to like minimalistic, maximalist, or like rundown, industrial, blah blah blah. That kind of
Actually,
stuff.
I've seen like all of those words that you've mentioned. I've seen minimalistic. There's actually, I think there's a higher amount of cafes that have like a minimalistic
Minimalistic.
concept going on just because, it's a bit cute, it's
Yeah.
cozy. You would like to be there.
It's good for pictures too.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say it's better for
It's
pictures.
good for pictures too, yeah. But there's also like maximalist ones. Like I think that another example would be like, I don't know if you've heard, there's like a pink cafe, Royal
Pink.
Melting Club.
Yeah, I was gonna say Barbie.
Yeah, they have
as
like a
place.
Barbie concept. Yeah,
Yeah.
like when the movie came out. So I think they have a very maximalist design going on.
Yeah.
And then there's also stores that have like like an interesting color theme going on, like electric blue and whatnot.
Mm.
And some of them like use touch screens
Whoa.
and technology. So based on where you go, the architecture inside and the interior, you will find something with every word you just said. Like
Right. So if you had to pick like one trendy like architectural or design cafe, which would be your like favorite type?
I
to
think
go to?
my aesthetic is always like the ones that I'm gonna recommend later. It's like very forest vibes.
Forest vibes.
Like
okay.
rainforest, and I mean that like I don't mean like there's a couple flower pots. Like I mean like heavily rainforest
Oh, okay.
vibes,
Okay.
or like somewhat the traditional aspect as well, like Hanok style.
Yeah, that's the
Also,
style I
so
like.
some like the marriage between those two is typically my favorite.
lovely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is yours?
Hanok style I like.
Hanok style.
But to be fair, when I go to a cafe, it's for taste. It's not necessarily for aesthetics because I'm all about flavor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Versus like
I'm looking
the
forward
photos.
to your recommendations then.
Oh
at the
gosh,
end.
I'm nervous now.
Don't be nervous.
Yeah, so we'll look forward to like the best coffee in
Oh,
Seoul.
no, okay.
Best drinks in Seoul. Yeah. Okay, but definitely like Hanoks, forest vibes, minimalistic, and I feel like there's a lot of like industrial themes popping
Yeah,
up
like
here and
that
there. now.
Especially in Songsu.
Yes, Hongsu
Especially
especially,
that area,
and
yes.
like Hannam-dong too. Like
Hannam.
I don't know why, but I think it's maybe like this is just me in my mind, but maybe when the cafe owners are like opening the cafes, they
They're
don't
like, well,
want
this is kind of cool.
yeah, they're like you know what? I don't want to spend that much on interior. Let me just leave it this way, and like it looks hip.
It looks cool. It looks hip.
Yeah. So if you go to like, especially Seongsu or Jongno or like Hannam-dong, like kind of the old villages, or like Seongsu has a lot of factories.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as a good rule of thumb, Seongsu these days is extremely artistic and popular.
Right. So
especially for pop-ups, like they're in cafes a lot, like for fashion brands and whatnot.
yeah, so if you go there, it's all like bricks and concrete and everything, but it's like flooded with young people. Just we touched on this a little bit before, but like Korean cafes have a variety of menus like that are usually not on cafe menus. So what is like one of the weird things you've noticed on like Korean cafe menus?
Oh, they have an obsession here with Einspanner.
Einspanner,
I don't know why. Like, I've been to Austria before, and I didn't really go to that many cafes there. But I mean, in Korea, every cafe has one, and I often order it. But I've never seen it in any other country with this much obsession. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't notice that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought it was like
Everywhere.
internationally popular, but I guess that's not the case. Yeah.
I've never actually tried it. My equivalent to it would be like when I get a cold brew with like a cold foam on top. So I guess similar, right? But not. I've never actually tried it.
So I don't really have a menu that I'm going to be specific about, but it's related to this. I'd say that every year Korean cafes have a trending drink or a trending dessert.
Yeah.
So you will suddenly see these trending desserts and trending drinks
Everywhere.
pop up as a menu.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't included in the menu before, you will see it everywhere.
Right.
So that's also like kind of crazy for me.
Right. Even if it's not like these small business owned cafes or like the big ones, like even in the franchise ones, Starbucks recently had a Blackpink series.
Yeah.
That went trending, and there were like BTS ones and that kind of stuff. So all those themed menus come out seasonally. And my friend that owns Idia, he says it's maybe I shouldn't say this, but he says it's a pain in the ass because like in his point of view, he needs to learn new menus every single time the mother company just like says like, oh, we have this new seasonal menu that has like lemon, honeycombs, and whatever.
And he's like, what?
Yeah, ginger and what?
No, I'm always on the hunt for a good matcha latte.
Oh,
Matcha latte, yeah.
I like a matcha frappuccino.
Yeah.
And what about like desserts and cakes? Do you think the game is strong?
Croffle. What is that?
I love croffles though. I really love them.
Yeah, but when I tried to explain it to my sister, and when my mom came here, she was like, "What is that?"
Croffle.
It's a croissant waffle. For those of you that don't know,
All the Parisians triggered right now.
Yeah,
Yes.
literally. And there's something else I've seen recently. It's a flattened croissant.
Oh,
Have you seen that?
It's like paper thin.
What is it?
It doesn't taste good.
I know.
And they usually have like cream and like what do you call it, strawberries or something on
Yeah.
top too, right? So you can customize it with.
And
like,
they love cream
fruits.
cheese here in
They-
Korea.
They customize it with cheese.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm like, why?
Why?
I don't get croffles. Like, I feel like when I see a cafe and that's like their main like representative item, I'm like, that's it. You know, like
I don't know, man.
it's not for me.
I
Not-
don't
I
know.
feel like that was like a drunken decision someone made because you know what I mean. Like people make random snacks when they're drunk. I think that's what happened, and they were like, "This is all right."
Like,
And they made a
for
whole
me,
cafe from it.
I'm not a big waffle person, so for me croffles were amazing because I love croissants, and if I can have them like in a more crunchier, not like less dense way, that's good. So croffles, I
Best
love
of
them.
both worlds.
Yeah.
Okay, this might be a new debate on the internet. Like, pro
Are you
croffle.
team croffle
Yeah.
or not?
Yeah.
No, I think they are delicious, but it's just bizarre.
Yeah.
Or like those, what is it? Like it's another waffle trend. I don't know what it is with Korean waffles, but where they fold the waffle, but the inside is filled with
With
cream.
cream,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like fruits, cream
Yeah,
and
that was
fruits.
what I was talking about. Yeah.
Oh my
exactly.
goodness, I've never seen that anywhere else, only in Korea. But yeah,
Even over here, like I think last year it was trending donuts, but they're like filled to the brim on the inside with like cream and like jam and everything.
yeah.
That was trending, and
Yeah.
pretzels and everything. Every time
I
something
wouldn't-
new.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know how to eat it. How do you approach that
Yeah.
item?
Right.
Yeah.
Eat it at home. You
Yeah.
can't.
I feel like last year was donuts. This year's like bagels. and-
Yeah.
Like, I see a lot of
Bagels, too.
churros.
Huh?
Churros,
Churros.
yeah.
Okay. Like the whole circle of trends. So it seems like the cafe game is pretty strong here so far. But but we go to the next level with digital technology. So have you noticed any like technological advanced technology in cafes? Yeah.
Something I might have noticed is that like nowadays, you know how like the menu is usually printed in cardboard or like paper? Nowadays they have a tab that tells you the menu and sometimes even shows you the dessert or the drink, and it in a very aesthetic way. So if like it's a dessert that's filled with like cream, the cream is like flowing out, all pretty. So they have it like really visually there to like make their customers like want it. And it's really interesting to me.
I was gonna go at it from a different perspective. I've been to cafes where the entire inside was like LED screens. Like on the floor, on the walls, on the ceiling, like everything was technological that way. And I'd never been somewhere like that where like I was walking on art. It was really cool.
It's like interactive media art, stuff like that.
So I've been to cafes like that. And then also like she said, the presentation's often really cool too.
I've seen the robots like sometimes make the drinks. I don't see it too often here. I've seen it. It's Songsu at some matcha place.
The Songsu robot.
Yeah, there's like this robot hand that makes your order and stuff. It's like a fully unmanned cafe and stuff. So there's stuff like that too. But
how does that work? Like, what is the business model for that?
No idea.
No idea at all. But you're saving labor costs for sure. But like speaking of saving labor costs, I've noticed like nowadays most of the cafes have kiosks. There's just like all like, you know, you don't even order to the barista or the worker. So like my mom or my grandma would always struggle to like, oh, how do I even order here? And like it's like that in McDonald's and everywhere too. But like I've noticed in all these cafes, it's all
increasing.
Starbucks takes it like a step higher because now you order on your phone and you wait till they bring it out.
It's
like the siren order.
I don't like that. I like the personal interaction. I think I prefer that. It feels more not like luxurious is the wrong word. It feels like just more personal, like a better experience.
You miss the barista asking you like, would you want an extra shot or whatever, but now you're like plus 501 plus, you know, like whipping cream.
It's just like
I think for introverts that's a good option.
I like the option of it, and I like that it's more easily customizable for those that aren't fluent in Korean, because they're able to say like less ice or whatever, less sweet. I like that, but I'm never gonna get over like the whole old school like ordering a coffee like a person.
And with have you ever seen those ringing bells that they give you for like the waiting? And they have like digital ads on it. You know, like it's like a mini TV. So while you're waiting,
I've never seen that.
You've never seen that? So like you order something, you get this bell thingy, and you
watch the ad.
You watch the ads. I don't know what I'm doing, like, but those things.
I spend enough time looking at a screen.
I know, right? So, speaking of, a lot of people are shocked that cafes are open 24 hours or until very late.
Most of them. Definitely not all of them.
Not all of them.
But, there's a lot of them that do.
A lot of them, like I think average would be like shut down at 10 p.m., right?
10 or 12, I would say.
I feel like it's like 9.
Sometimes it's 9.
Sometimes it's 9.
It's important to note though that they open later also.
Right.
Like that's annoying to me because in the States, like cafes open or coffee shops, I should say, they open at like 6 a.m., 7 a.m. But here it's like they don't open until like 11. And it's like, come on, I need my coffee at 8 a.m., not 11.
Not 11.
Right. But those ones in like Hongdae, Gondae that are like 24 hours and like drunk people are just using the bathrooms and like sprawled all over the place. Or the ones like in the studying neighborhoods, like Shinchon, like everybody's just studying overnight.
They're really targeting the consumers who would like to be in a cafe at night as well.
Right.
So
I don't understand, why would you stay overnight in a cafe? Isn't that kind of uncomfortable? Like you.
Well, I don't think you should go there with the purpose of sleeping there. But
sometimes if you go
for sure. But like, if you're just gonna stay up till like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. studying, why not you just pack your stuff up and go home and
Some people cannot study at home.
That's like we were saying earlier.
I have friends. They always like I have this one friend. Every time like I text her, she is in the nearby cafe that's 24 hours open. And I'm like, why don't you study at home? She's like, I don't think I can. I think if I study at home, I will ease into my bed and just like stop. I really need to like stay up all night. So I just rather do it at a cafe where other people are studying. So it's like a library. It motivates me.
Right,
yeah,
right.
I can relate to that. In college, I was very similar. Like I could not study at my house or in my apartment. Like I had to go to the library or something because
Were there no 24-hour cafes?
no,
It's not a thing back home.
No, definitely not. But yeah, the library was 24 hours though. So yeah. I have to be in that environment where other people are also working. Otherwise I get like, I'll just hop on YouTube. I'll be like, just one video and then I'm down the dark hole.
Even when I have gone to like study cafes in the evening, you'll just see students sleeping and I'm like, maybe it's because they've rented out their seat for 6 hours and they're like, oh, I need to take a break. But I'm always surprised. I'm like, oh, okay, you're gonna take a nap here then.
I feel like that's a luxury in Korea though, because in the States I don't think anyone would dare fall asleep. Like not with their stuff next to them, you know what I mean? But here it feels safer. Like I'm glad that people are comfortable enough here, like with their, you know, their stuff not being stolen.
Yeah, some people just leave their laptop, MacBook on and go have dinner and come back.
It's kind of shocking and nobody touches it.
Yeah.
Nobody takes it.
Like I'm Korean, so I'm not even shocked that like nobody takes it anymore, but I'm shocked that nobody complains about it. Like who are you to get your designated seat with your own laptop on it and go get dinner and come back? Like if I was a cafe owner, I would be pissed. If I was a customer looking for a seat, I would be pissed. I'm just pissed in many ways. But, no, that's like...
It's like, yeah, I understand. There have been days where I've been into like cafes and the group is missing, their stuff is there, but I'm just like, where are you?
Yeah. And if you go to
need
like
that
these
seat.
very crowded and popular cafes, it just infuriates me because like when I enter, there's a lot of seats. When I go there, there's like one receipt or one purse on the table, and it's like it's taken. You know, like, I'm gonna take your purse and just sit there. You know,
I still feel uncomfortable though, like leaving my stuff. That's something I feel like I will never get used to. I do it sometimes where I leave my laptop out and I go to the bathroom. But I don't know.
It's always in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
When my mom came to visit, like I left my purse on the table to go to wash my hands before dinner, and she brought hers. I was like, "Mom, you can just leave it." And she goes, "No, why would I do that?" I'm like, "We're in Korea, you can do it." She goes, "I'm not there yet. I'm gonna wait on that."
Right. Okay, so have you ever experienced though, like as foreigners, any difficulties navigating through cafes or their menus or like communicating with staff?
I think that this is not something I go personally through, but I have a lot of friends who are lactose intolerant.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of these cafes, they do not have the option to substitute the milk with like soy milk or oat milk, anything that's like, you know, friendly towards those who can't have dairy products.
Okay.
So in that case, I'm pretty sure they have a hard time. And if there's like a language barrier, and even if they may have it, like have those options, it may be difficult to explain to them what they really want. So, but nowadays, a lot of the cafes, they have like menus in both English and Korean, and you can use like Papago.
Yeah.
So I would say it's not really that big of a problem, but it can definitely be a problem for those who want to substitute the milk out.
Like specific orders.
I would definitely agree with that. Like we're very spoiled, at least where I'm from in the States, like extremely customizable. I used to work at Starbucks. That was my first job, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I should have mentioned that earlier, but it was my first job. And one of the most annoying things in the world is when somebody comes to like the drive-thru or something and they have the most customized order on the planet and it's for no good purpose. But
could you give me an example of how it's customized?
Okay, this one is not like, it's not complicated, but it doesn't make sense. But just for representation, there was this lady one time, and she comes up, and you can already tell she was like this 35-year-old soccer mom, and she goes, "Can I have a cappuccino with no air?" And I'm like, what? You don't
No air?
Listen. Okay, so you have to steam the milk with hot air to get the bubbles to make the foam for a cappuccino, which is mostly foam. So for her to say no air, I was like, what are you talking about? I made it exactly the same, and she goes, perfect. I was like, okay. But then there'll be people that'll be like, I want it half shaken, half stirred, half sweet, half unsweet. And then I want you to make sure that you put almond milk in it, but only up to this line. And like, they're
What?
so specific for
You're
their
like, come
region.
back and make it.
So going back to Korea,
What? The baristas here would be like, no, I'm not going to make that for
they
you.
would kick me out of the cafe.
Yeah,
They'd be like,
yeah,
no
yeah.
way.
They're not doing that.
But in that way, like I do appreciate that aspect of like Starbucks in America is you can customize it, especially if you have allergies and stuff like that, or if you're diabetic and you need less sugar. It's a lot more accommodating. And like here, for example, I don't drink like whole milk. I typically drink like almond milk.
Yeah.
So there was once a cafe near my workplace when I came here to work as a teacher, but they have a wicked matcha latte. The only problem is that it's with whole milk. So I would stop by the Pyeongjam every day and bring them almond
was just
milk.
gonna say that.
Wow.
I would bring them a little carton of almond milk because it's the perfect serving size, and they would make my latte that way.
That's sweet.
It was sweet, but it is kind of frustrating that they don't
Yeah.
have the
Yeah.
options because there is a lot of people that aren't able to digest stuff like that.
I don't understand why they don't offer more like almond milk, because it's literally in the convenience store. Like just like
Right.
you said, just I'm gonna go grab it and here, make my drink with it.
Wouldn't it also be cheaper in some regards? Because like
Yeah.
they have mass productions of it here, so I don't know why they don't
Soy
use it.
milk, oat milk. I know
Yeah.
that's a hard one to find.
To be honest, like a lot of East Asians are lactose intolerant.
Yeah.
A significant
90%,
population.
like 80%, yeah.
Yeah, so I think I can agree with you on that. I don't think it's necessarily the menu because they do typically have like an English option or
Yeah.
something. And even with like if you have like not a strong understanding of Korean, I think that typically you'll get along all right. But it's just like, the like customization stuff. I
Yeah,
think is
right.
the most
I've had a lot of foreigner friends when I go to cafes and I'm like, what do you want? And they're sweeping through like the menus and stuff. And it doesn't make sense. It's like almond, hazelnut, whatever.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'll just have an Americano. Like at the end, they'll just like, they just resort to that easy menu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
standard.
One annoying incident I had was that I ordered a drink in Korean, whatever, got my order. Then these foreign customers come in and they're looking at the menu. The menu was only in Korean, and they couldn't like read the font or whatever. So then I ended up helping them like order their drink or like tell them what's on the menu. And then they go and order in English, and the guy gives them like options of different flavors they could have, and I'm like, I literally ordered the same drink, but I didn't get to choose an option. And that was annoying. I was like, I literally ordered, next time I'll order in English,
Yeah. So Korea has a strong cafe game, but it needs to step it up for like foreigner friendly standards, right? So yeah, there's more and more foreigners coming, and these foreigners are loving the cafes here. So they should definitely like
It's a good
custom.
tourist thing, tourist
It is.
attraction.
It is.
Not to mention, it's also a potential like way for them to make more money because
Yeah.
they could add an upcharge for things like that. So, not saying I want to pay more for it, but just as a selling point for the cafes, like go the extra mile, get the extra dollar. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And now let's get into the actual essence of this podcast. We will be sharing our best cafes, but I will go first because I have actually a sponsored list of cafes here. And before you judge me, because it's sponsored, these are actually really nice cafes. So I can actually vouch for these cafes. I've been to all of them, and I've taken the extra mile to actually go to them and film the sites. So I'll be showing you the actual aesthetics of these cafes. So here they are. So top 4 cafes I would recommend personally, even if this wasn't sponsored, for real. The first one is Miltoast, and it's located in Ikseondong, where a lot of Hanok-themed cafes are nearby, and it boasts a very clean, spacious vibe right in the middle of the crowded alleyways of Ikseondong. The place has a very minimal feel to it, and the same goes to its signature steamed plain bread that you can rip apart with your hands, filled with steamed chestnuts inside. Oh my god, it's so good. The honeycomb bread is very sweet, and the strawberry cakes are just fresh, sour, and sweet at the same time. And another signature is the flavored milk, like chestnut flavor. So basically, this place is a whole sweet symphony going on. And with natural lighting hitting the whole cafe, your mood just immediately becomes better with the vibes and sweetness. And on to the second one, it's called Dotori Garden or just Dotori, and it's located in either Anguk or Shinyeongsan area. And Dotori Garden is literally like a trip into a Ghibli studio-ish space. You can see its signature characters sitting around all over the place. It has a very nice outdoor sitting space, various rooms up to 2 floors, all giving antique but cozy vibes. And the selection of bread you can get here is amazing. And I highly recommend trying the acorn-looking signature bread because it's just so cute. But what I think is the best part of this cafe is the honeycomb Greek yogurt, which they show you freshly cutting the honeycomb with blueberries, strawberries added, and more. All in all, the pastry, the refreshing drinks are also good, so definitely worth a visit. And the third recommendation is called Dalmatian, located in the Apgujeong or Apgujeong Rodeo area. I recommend going on a very nice sunny day because immediately as you enter the gate, you will find an eye-catching, beautiful fountain full of colorful flowers floating around. And there are so many seats outside so you can enjoy your brunch and drinks in the sunlight. And it's dog friendly, so you can bring your doggo as well. The indoor interior is very hip and chic, in my opinion, along with a lot of Dalmatian themed props. They have amazing brunch type of foods that all taste good. The salad, the platter, toast, pasta. Everything I tried was very good. Also, they have so many different kind of beverages, but of course, you need to try the signature cocktail. It's just so aesthetically pleasing. It has flowers floating on it, and it's not that strong, so it's perfect to pair with a light brunch. I would say that the prices are a little bit pricier than your normal brunch cafes, but the vibes are just definitely worth it. You will never stop taking pictures here. And the last place is called Seoul Engmuse, and it's located in either Seongsu or Samgakji area. Seoul Engmuse is such a colorful place, just like its name, which means parrot. It has tons of cakes, pastry, desserts, sandwiches, and one of the things I really like is that they experiment with Korean traditional ingredients as well. The signature drinks are very rainbow colored, which makes them awesome for pictures, and the whole space is huge, up to 3 floors where you can find colorful tables, sofas to terrace seats. The whole place just looks full of life and is very quirky, and their food is so good too. I just ate this full hamburger sandwich and matcha red bean cake for brunch with an iced latte and a cute parrot drawn on the top. So if you want to feel colorful, Seoul Engmuse is the place to go. You guys all know these cafes. Like, have you been to most of these?
I really actually, it's funny how you're saying it's sponsored, but even if it wasn't sponsored, Dalmatian was actually on my list.
Me too.
Because I've been to Dalmatian like at least 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
Now, I went last year and I went recently as well. I really love their eggs Benedict and their French toast. And Dotori Garden, it gives me the vibes of like a Ghibli movie.
studio, yeah.
So I really like going there for their Greek yogurt bowls.
So good.
It's really delicious.
Right.
So they're really nice places.
And the 2 places you mentioned have like outdoor terraces and
Yes.
stuff. So that's what I like about it. Not a lot of cafes in Korea provide that outdoor space.
Yeah, definitely.
So you don't have a lot of sunlight. You're just all inside. There's good air conditioning, but still you want that kind of breeze, you know?
And with Dalmatian, even if you go like in the winters, they have the whole place covered up. Even though it's outdoors, they've it covered up in a way that you can be outdoors but still be warm because they have heaters and everything
That's
going
so
on.
cool.
So
Those are the 2 that I haven't been to. I've been to the other 2, but
you need to go there. I went with Vaughn. Oh, you should have come. You should have come. Yeah, but there's like this nice fountain, just like
it's
covered with
beautiful.
flowers and stuff.
Yes.
Very Instagrammable spot.
Food is good too.
Very aesthetic.
I was
Especially
gonna say, Engmuse, like the selection there is crazy.
Engmuse?
Yes.
Yeah,
Engmuse, sorry.
It's like, no, it's okay. It's the Korean word for parrot, and yeah, you see like a parrot mascot over there. It's like rainbowy, and there's like so many variety of cakes, sandwiches, fruit. Even if you look at the signature drinks, they're like rainbow flavored. Yeah, so that was a little bit too much to me, to be honest. Like I was like, oh, this is not gonna be good for my health, but still it's good for the gram. So it was nice. And milk toast had some
toast.
Milk toast
Strawberry
is really
I love
good.
egg though.
What was your favorite menu?
The strawberry toast.
Strawberry toast.
Did you get that one?
Yeah, I got
Yeah?
that one. Yeah.
That's really good.
It's like they just steam your like bread. It's like so hot, and like you can rip it and you feel like the warmth in your hands, and you're like, it's like so good.
I would like to go there in the winter.
Yeah. So check those places all out. Dotori Garden has amazing honeycomb Greek yogurt as well.
I've seen like the videos of that. It looks
It's
crazy
unbelievable.
good.
They
I'm
just
not a
like
yogurt
chop it up
person.
right in front of your eyes, like fresh what do you call it? Honeycomb.
Are you
Wow.
busy after this?
Yeah, but like I said, it's sponsored, but it's not sponsored in some sense because like I really advocate and like support these
Yeah.
places. And I would say the common strengths of all 4 of these cafes are extreme branding. Like they have a strong branding game over there. So it's not like you're just going for good dessert and stuff. You have a full package experience. They have their own merch. They have their whole theme going on for the whole cafe and stuff. So everything's just like integrated well. So it's like a very nice place to visit. And that's that. So that was my sponsor bit. And you guys can go on into your like favorite areas, cafes, whatsoever.
Okay, I want to pull out my little reference thing.
Okay.
Because I have so many.
And while you're looking at it, though, you mentioned Jeju and Busan, but actually, I would say there's a whole other whole different sector of huge cafes outside of Seoul.
That's so,
Oh
yeah.
my God.
So say like if you have a car or if you have a friend that can go on a drive to like Gyeonggi or like Paju or
Yeah.
Hanam, they're
Even
like
Incheon.
Incheon, there are amazing cafes that are super huge. They're like warehouse size cafes, and it's just packed with people whenever you go, like
I have
weekday,
a suggestion
weekend.
already for that.
Yeah, so I think that's another game of its own. And yeah, people just travel for specific cafes to other regions as well, like Jeonju or like Busan, or in Busan, like there's an area called Gijang. They have amazing like seaside cafes over there. In Jeju Island, there's like super famous aesthetic cafes by the beach and by the cliff and whatever. So yeah, I specifically went back in my days to go to like a GD cafe. It was- yeah.
Is it in Jeju?
Yeah, it was in Ewol.
Monsan.
Ewol or whatever.
Yes, Ewol is amazing.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is
The cafe game there is super strong.
Like, you know, you just walk into that neighborhood.
Yeah.
Every 5 minutes or like every 2 minutes by walk, there's a cafe.
Every cafe is Instagrammable, full of people. So
I'll have to
Jeju is
visit for
Jeju is a place for cafes as well. So are you guys ready with your list?
Yes.
I won't give you that much time. So
David.
yeah, 3 or 4. 3 or
Okay.
4. You need to
Just
yeah.
for context, guys, I have, and I just checked the number, 237 stars on that.
People are like literally putting out their phones right now to like
Yeah.
memo your things. So
I mean, you can reach out to us on Instagram
Yeah,
if you want
definitely.
some more.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
he's just allowing us 4.
Right,
It's crazy.
Yeah, like literally look at this.
So let's hear it. Starting from who wants to go first?
So obviously, I recommend Dalmatian.
Dalmatian. Oh wow, I love
because
that. Recommending our sponsor.
It's not sponsored.
Yeah.
It was genuinely on my list.
Yeah.
But I recommend Dalmatian, and they have a killer brunch menu. So their breakfast platter it comes with like avocados, sausages, eggs, and everything.
Yeah.
That's delicious. And even their eggs Benedict is lovely. I love eggs Benedict, and it's one of the best places I've had an eggs Benedict at. So Dalmatian. And then another nice brunch spot is Grain. I think all the foreigners watching this who've lived in Korea will agree. And they have a lovely matcha latte as well. So definitely try out Grain. And then I would give one from Busan and one from Jeju.
Whoa, okay.
So Busan, there's actually really beautiful ones out there, but this place is like my personal favorite. It's called Cafe Mandi.
Mandy.
And it looks like a hole in the wall when you get there, but in behind there's a whole forest.
Wow.
It's a whole forest, and it's like a huge vintage looking cafe with like real trees and everything in front of it.
Oh.
It's a lovely place.
Uh-huh.
It's near Gamcheon Munhwa Maul.
Oh, it's that area. Okay.
Yeah, but it's not really in that village. It's near it.
Okay, near it. Mm.
And then in Jeju, it was my favorite place I've been to because it's called Cafe Pomnal.
Oh, I've
So
been there.
Cafe
Yeah.
Spring Day. It's really beautiful.
Yeah.
It's really picturesque. You can see the ocean. There's like a swing. You can sit on it and just swing and look at the sea. It's amazing.
I went there with my ex-girlfriend during the sunset, and it was like the most romantic thing ever. I'm getting like flashbacks right now, but that's very scenic place. Yeah, I can verify. Yeah.
But these are like my 4 places. And not only is it like scenic and aesthetic, the food and the drinks are actually good. So I definitely recommend them.
Right. Okay, go check them out. That was Yuki's pick. And you want to go?
My choices are based on flavor. So,
Okay, yeah.
coffee-wise, I like Vinter Coffee Bar in Apgujeong.
Winter?
Yeah, it's near
Okay.
the Michelin soba place.
It's
Okay.
funny that you say that. I just found that one recently.
really? It's
'Cause,
really
yeah,
good.
I've been looking around Apgujeong and Shinsa, and I tried to go there the other day, but I was too late. Like I got
Okay.
off work too late.
You should
But
go. It's
Yes,
really
it's
good.
like VV Winter.
Yeah,
Mm.
Yeah.
That one. I also have Honest Pancake, which is in Yeonnam.
Oh, okay.
Really good pancakes.
Yep.
Have you been?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Super
very
good.
good. Amazing.
And then I also have Cafe Margaret saved specifically for their cakes in like the refrigerated section. Just because I don't know if you know this, but a lot of pastries in Korea are made with like hydrogenated oil. So like that's why when you go to cafes, you'll see like pastries sitting out for you to grab, and
Oh.
like they don't need to be refrigerated because they're made out of like hydrogenated
Oh.
oils. So I always try to get desserts that are in the refrigerated section because that's how you
Oh, I
know
didn't
it's
know
made
that.
with like dairy.
Little pro tip there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are my three. I only chose three.
Okay. Oh, 3.
Yeah, that's it.
Concise. Yes, nice. Okay, let's go on into Shannon.
So the first one I want to talk about is in Paju. It's called Ann Terrace.
Mm.
It is massive. It's like one of those industrial
massive
sized ones that we
yeah.
were talking about. It's I think it's like 3 floors if I'm not mistaken,
Mhm.
but on an incredible scale. It's really big, but the whole interior is very like gardeny, tropical. Like it's so aesthetically pleasing. And there's so many places to sit. There's like a staircase place. There's like little private sections. There's
Yeah.
couches. It's really, really different. And then not to mention the menu options are crazy. There's so many different options. And in the bakery section, you can go walk around and pick your own stuff.
Yeah.
But the portion sizes are huge, which
That's
is what I
lovely.
didn't expect. Like, yeah, like instead of like a little tiny egg tart, it's like an egg tart. Like it's huge.
Egg tart.
Yeah, right. But it's meant to be shared, right? But anyways, so that one is really, really good. Very unique size wise. Personal favorites, there's a tie between 2 of them, and these are in Hapjeong, Hongdae.
Oh, okay.
Hapjeong, my favorite is this like rainforest, beautiful cafe. Oh my gosh, the name escapes me as soon as I said it.
Rainforest Cafe. Wow.
No, it's so beautiful.
Wow.
Hold on.
You really like the green.
Oh, Urban
Okay.
Plant.
Urban Plant.
I've been there. I love
Urban
going
Plant.
there on rainy days.
It is like, but is it not a rainforest inside of a building?
It is.
Really?
Like
Also seen photos.
whatever you're thinking, it's more than that.
Okay.
It's so beautiful. And then like on the inside, they've got like linen
Yes.
white on the top, and like
It's perfect.
the sunshine comes through. The food is good, a little bit expensive, but I go for the vibe for like my drawings or for reading.
It
Like
smells nice too, like plants.
it's like you walk in and it's like very refreshing. Like the energy in that place is so good. So highly recommend that one for the vibes. For vegans out there, Plant Cafe. There's one in Hongdae and there's one in Itaewon.
They have this eggplant dish in plant.
Oh, the Mazuka.
yes,
it's
it's
so good.
delicious. It's delicious.
Not to mention, they have all milk options, and they have a ginger turmeric latte, which is so hard to find in Korea, but it's so good. So shout out Plant. You guys know my face at this point, and I know they do because they're always like, "What's up, Shannon?" And I'm like, "Oh no, too often." So really amazing vegan options. I take a lot of my non-vegan friends there and make them try the food, and then I tell them it's vegan after, and they're like, "Oh, really?" So really, really good by any standard. Moving on to my recent comfort spot. This one is in Shinsa. It's Front Seoul. Have you guys
I've heard of
been?
that place, yeah.
It is such a vibe. They play like R&B, lo-fi
wow.
slash like chill hip hop music. And then they've got like little candles on all the tables. It's big comfy chairs, pretty spaced out. Really, really solid matcha latte, which is what I get every time. So that one's pretty good as well.
Okay.
Yep. And then my final one is going to be, sorry, in Songsu. I know I had 5.
10 years later. It's final.
Last one, shout out to Daerim in Songsu. It's really close to the station, really big. It's half industrial, half forest vibes, but really, really cool. A lot of menu options there as well. And it's
Yeah.
also a brewery after certain hours, but yeah,
Lovely.
really cool.
Okay, thank you for sharing all your golden lists. And before we go on though, like before we wrap up, like which areas would you recommend that have like the most aesthetic or hip, nice, comfy cafes?
For me, not only would I recommend based on the aesthetics, but also the taste and flavors.
Yeah,
So areas I'd like to recommend are Yeonhee-dong
Yeonhee-dong.
and
yeah.
Ikseon-dong.
Yeah,
Right,
Ikseon-dong,
right.
for sure.
Because the food and like all the cafes that I've been to in those neighborhoods are like the food and the drinks are delicious.
Yeah. You need to see the visual podcast right now,
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
the audio
right.
one. Like,
Like,
you need to see her face.
You need to see my face. And like Ikseondong, you will also find like them in like Hanok style.
Yeah, that's why I like it
So
too.
Me
it's really
too.
cute.
Miltoast is in Ikseondong, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For me, my favorite areas are Yeonnam and Seongsu for cafes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's
And
pretty much around the same places we're talking about. Yeonnam, Seongsu, Ikseon,
Ikseon, yeah.
Jongro and Songsu for me.
종로, 성수. Yeah. So 종로, 성수, 익선동, they all have in common that they're like old
Yeah.
places, but they're getting like gentrified, but not gentrified in like a super fancy way, but
Yeah.
like just
Vibey.
Vibey, yeah,
It's very vibey.
Yeah.
Like a strong contender, but that would be a bit more expensive, would be like Apgujeong Cheongdam
Oh,
or
yeah.
Dosan.
Yeah. I like that. I like those places because it's like so minimalistic, clean, and fancy and aesthetic, but it's a little bit pricey over there.
For sure.
Yeah.
And also, it looks a little like too Instagrammy. You know what I'm saying?
So like that's the thing. If you want to treat yourself,
Yeah.
go to Apgujeong
Right.
and like maybe Dalmatian, Count de
Right,
Tular.
right.
Like there's really nice ones there too.
Mm-hmm.
But budget friendly would be Ikseondong and
Right,
Yeongdong.
right.
Yeah, for sure.
And like the more traditional vibes of Korea.
For sure.
Okay, that's great. So did you get all of that in your notes? So next time you come to Korea, like you got the legit list here. And I've noticed recently that there are so many like cafe hopping creators, and all of them
Yeah.
are
So many.
all of them are popular. Like it never ends, you know. It's sometimes overlapping cafes or whatsoever, but they all do vlogs, you know, all these reels and shorts. It's all viral on TikTok. So
I'm glad though. It gives me a lot of
Exactly.
like content to shift through.
Exactly. Like it's good for the people who are potentially coming to Korea, living in Korea, so they got places to go to. It's good for the creators themselves. So I think if you're looking out for like a creator niche in Korea, like maybe cafe hopping might be your thing. It's really fun to do
Yeah,
as
it
well.
is. There is a niche.
Yeah. It's just guaranteed views. Anyways, if you want to try content creation in Korea, cafes would be a nice subject to do for
Solid
sure.
route to take.
Yeah.
I've never done it before, but thanks to this sponsor, Milto, shout out to Milto's Dotori Garden Dalmatian and Seoul Engmuse. I swear, it's really good. So you should really try them out. But anyways, yeah, that was it for today's episode. Do you have
Sweet.
anything left to get out of your heart? Like, oh, I really need to say this about Korean cafes. Yeah.
Honestly, there's a lot to get out of my heart, a lot in
Yeah.
the list. But we're gonna stop here for today because otherwise, this is it's not gonna
Yeah.
end.
Yeah.
4-hour
If
podcast.
if this gets a lot of views, let's do part 2.
Yeah,
And then
sure.
you can share your
Definitely,
left of the
definitely.
wrist. Yeah, okay. So thanks for everybody. Thanks everybody for coming, for sharing your lovable cafes. And please go check them out. I won't make list for you guys. You take the notes because I'm lazy. I can't like
If you
list.
want, I'll make the list and send you a screenshot.
Oh, if that's the case, okay. But yeah, I'm too lazy to put all the URLs and locations,
Yeah.
all that stuff. But thanks everybody for coming. Go visit Seoul cafes, and yeah, I will see you guys next time in another episode of Korean Pizza Club. So, see ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.